So here's another project of mine. I'm building a joystick made for flight simulators, or combat flight simulators specifically. This is the first assembled prototype. Call it version 0.3. It's modelled after the stick in the, I think it's F15C and above, and the A10C and above. This is from a Thrustmaster super expensive joystick, but my cheaper version is designed to replicate the functionality, if not the appearance and feel, of the real thing, because that will cost about $100 to build, whereas this and the throttle over there, which I'm also planning to make 3D printable, cost me about $700. So it's got a two-stage trigger, a button there, a hat that you can also click in, and a button on the side there, and there's also a button on the pinky, which is more or less superfluous. This one has a four-way hat there, four-way hat there, four-way hat there, and a button there, another hat down there, and a two-stage trigger. I've actually got the guts of the trigger in there, so there's a little lever switch and a little tactile micro switch in there, a little spring to return the switch, and there's also the button on the front there, as opposed to on the side, to make it easier to flip to left to right-handed if you wanted to print yourself a custom left-handed version, because that is impossible to use left-handed, because A, that's under your palm and that can't be reached. And so to make this left-handed you just have to move that to the other side, which is trivial. None of the actual hats are attached in this one, obviously. That's what the hats look like. Come on, focus. Focus. So there's a couple different types of hats. This one, I don't know its proper name, but I call it the Hanoi, because it's kind of shaped like the Tower of Hanoi. Why is it so terrible at focusing on things? Oh, there we go. If I sort of jog the zoom, it works. So that's one of the sorts. That's used for the trim hat on the real deal. And there's also, that one and that one. So I'm looking to faithfully replicate some of the feel, because they're important to feel if you can't see the stick because you're concentrating elsewhere. It's printed in a couple parts. The trigger is separate. This plate on the front bolts onto the front. This main section of the head here. Then there's the face plate there. That whole head assembly pops off the top. I shan't do that for fear of breaking something. It's not very sturdy yet. This side hat comes off. That's printed in a separate piece and just slots into that hole there. And then that stem and the base are one piece. I'm considering, actually I'm going to have to make this longer, because at least for my hand it's not big enough to be comfortable. It's like blah, giant hands. Whereas this one, it fits nicely, nice and snug. So that means that piece there is about 110 or 105 mil high, which is just at the bounds of the print height of my printer. So I may have to split it up into two pieces and clip them together later on. No biggie. So I've yet to design the gimbal mechanism that goes underneath, but the 3D Hall effect sensor that I'm going to use for sensing the position of the stick is exactly the same Hall effect sensor that's used in this stick. They cost about $12. So in terms of precision, it's going to be as good as the real deal, but it's not quite the same thing, but it'll get you off the ground.